Hi guys, welcome back to Alter Curated. Welcome back to my channel. Today is gonna be just a reflective podcast on some things that I'm still working through. I think this is my favorite series ever to do on this channel because I get to talk about things I'm learning and hopefully that is relatable to some of you guys out there. But also I also get to trauma dump on you guys, which is um uh sad if people don't want to hear it, but I consider my viewers my besties, so I can hopefully share in some capacity and still be of service. So, to be perfectly honest, I'm really not in the place I'd like to be right now. Like, I can acknowledge that I've grown a lot from my past, but I can also acknowledge that I'm not entirely where I want to be. And also, the kind of alchemy I'd like to integrate into my life, the kind of pain and the pace of healing I'd like to go at. I'm far too dysregulated, nervous system wise. I'm far too dealing with too many layers of trauma so that the alchemy I'm kind of aiming for and the goals I'm trying to stick to, they're not able to manifest into my life. I belong to the camp of people who have ambitious goals and like moral perfectionism about the kind of perfect healing they want to achieve. And I also feel like I have so many wild dreams and big goals that I want to bring into life, bring into fruition. And I feel like I can't really do that because that's just not the reality I live in. I'm trying to manifest my dreams and goals, but I don't want to invalidate the pain I've been through by not working through it in its totality and kind of alchemizing it into something that can benefit me in the long run. So I belong to the camp of people who have a dissonance within that reality because I cannot manifest. I'm like one of those people who cannot manifest until they've worked through some kind of layers of trauma that they've festered over the years or like accumulated over the years. And I feel like there's a lot of unresolved feelings I'm dealing with, and I haven't quite known, like, I'm struggling how to transmute them, sublimate them, alchemize them. And I've lost that kind of spark and connection to myself that I used to have when I was younger. And I feel like one of my best friends used to help me a lot with that connection to myself. And it sounds so shitty to say, but she just didn't help me with that connection to myself. But I also enjoyed her company and her presence and her thoughts and opinions and ideas. So I really loved her, man. Like, and I was writing this journal and I found it to be very beautiful because it captured like me in a vulnerable moment, which I don't allow myself to feel vulnerable and feel like I'm weak and feel like I need someone. But I really do need people. I kind of put on this front like I don't, but I don't allow myself to access the space of needing people. So the front kind of masks up even when I don't want it to. So I wrote this journal entry about my ex best friend who's no longer in my life, but I do like, I have a very fond place in my heart for her. And I want to read you that journal. I think I wrote that the world is a lonely place for both of us. I think we can be two very distinct, very deep, very cursed with a rare and burdensome intelligence that most don't have the depth or energy to meet us at. I think we try to best of our abilities to match each other's standards, depth, and frequency. I think you were one of the first people I was immediately put off by because I saw me in you. And I thought to myself, is this what people see when I stand my ground? We're two people willing to have 10-hour debates, standing 10 toes down for what we believe in. We're two truth seekers. It was avaricious to think we could be one another's medicine and tenderness for the loneliness we experienced, the loneliness we have always experienced, the abandonment, the rejection, the ostracization, when we're two fundamentally different people at the core, but eerily similar in ways that are both scary and hard to anticipate. We have a dynamic that is cursed as two cursed people individually and collectively, and I'm fucking nuts for caring. I'm furious that you not only gave me the greatest gift anyone could ever give in this life, the care and understanding and unconditional presence for the time, and then took it away like you didn't care to understand me in the first place. So, this is like an excerpt, a like short section of the journal entry I wrote for my ex best friend. I think I was still um in the thick of it, and I was experiencing a lot of big feelings. But as I was talking to certain parts of myself that um, are grappling between the two parts of me who want crave connection, who crave connection but simultaneously fear it, I think I was talking to those parts of myself and I realized that I'm not actually guilty for stuff I've done in the past or mistakes I've made. I'm not actually ashamed that these people left me. I'm not actually ashamed that I'm a bad person or secretly a fraud. I realized after doing the parts work and talking to these conflicting parts of me that I'm ashamed because I don't live a life that's true to myself. I'm not ashamed because people abandoned me and left me. I'm not ashamed because I made some mistakes in the past. I am disappointed in myself because I'm not living a life that's true to me. And if was living in a way every day where I'm the most aligned I possibly can be, or like reasonably to an extent that I'm trying to be, I don't think I would have this much of an issue going to bed at night and sleeping with this deep aching unrest in my soul, like I'm doing something wrong or like I'm being a fraud. It's because I don't connect to myself deeply enough so that I can have clarity on what I'm thinking. And then I act out from that place of chaos and confusion and pain. And then people are confused about my intentions because I am confused myself. So if I take the time to deeply connect to myself and give myself clarity on the unresolved feelings and thoughts I'm experiencing, then maybe people will also have clarity about where they stand with me. And that's the kind of dilemma I've been facing, is like really fear-ridden responses that have been coming up in my body, in my mind, in my soul. And I wish I could act from a place of integrity that doesn't go against my moral values. I wish I could act from a place of self respect for myself and others. I wish I could act from a place of empathy for myself and for others. And that can't be done if you haven't worked through all of your trauma and all of your shit. So I just feel like I needed time alone, like genuinely, not in a protective way of like, oh, I'm just protecting my peace and like I need to go into hiding or isolation. Like I'm meeting a friend next week. So it's not like I'm going into isolation, but I know I need to be at a slower pace of community seeking in my life because I have a lot of shit to work through and I don't want to project that pain out to others. I want to consciously be able to connect to myself so that connection with others is possible in a safe and devotional way, in a way that is worth the quality time I spend with myself and others. And that's what I've been working through. And I also wrote this another journal entry. I don't know why I'm reading my journals to you guys, but I really like they came out beautifully. Like it was like the divine moving through me. These were not my words. I fully believe that ideas have a frequency and the ideas float in this liminal space of infinite consciousness. And ideas come to those who have the vessel to be able to carry them out and bring it to life in the 3D material world. So I feel like these were not my words. Something was moving through me, something possessed me in a benevolent way to be able to put those words and bring those words to life. So I want to just read you another journal entry which I wrote, when we experience moments of deep pleasure in presence, we close our eyes like during kissing, during praying, during floating above the water in the ocean so as to feel that you're being carried by the waves. And during moments of deep pain, we also close our eyes to savor the ache, like crying, like moaning in pain. During moments of utter gruesome shock, we are left gasping for breath. Literally, the sensation of breathlessness moves through us because the brutality elicits such a response within you. And during moments of deep pleasure and reverence, you are left breathless, catching your breath once more in awe of how beautiful the moment is. The death of someone is in blood, and the life of someone is wrapped within the liminality of blood. All of the life giving pulse that animates the cosmos and every single inhabitant within it is curiously, impeccably designed to hold the polarities of both beauty and brutal pain within it. Our vessels, our souls experience so much duality, yet we revere in the hope of it all. For sweetening our experience with idealization, with beauty, with rejection, with grief, in pain, in faith. We can romanticize just about anything if we sweeten the experience with a little bit of hope. There can be a constellation of support standing beside you in abject suffering and the emptiness of isolation, if you just open yourself up to believing that the hand of God supports you even when no one else does, that you are loved in your loneliest moments, that you are regarded as a fond memory when you want to be wiped off of the face of the earth. Every single ripple you touch cannot escape your presence, so as you offer yourself to the world and hope to move somebody. As long as you dream of moving even one person on this god-forsaken planet through your actions and feelings, you are alive and human. And I truly believe the human experience is so sacred. This, by the way, was the end of my journal entry. I truly believe it's a privilege to be alive in these times. And there is so much going wrong and there is so much going right. But I choose to wake up every day and not put my chips in fear and kind of create my reality through that conscious space of I want to be able to bring good into the world. So I want to focus on the good, not in a way to invalidate pain and suffering and abuse that's going on collectively on a micro and macro level in our surroundings and in our within ourselves, but also be able to recognize the pain, but choose to operate from a place of love and kind of alchemize, transmute, sublimate that pain. Do your part to like not act from a place of fear and operate from a place of love. And I constantly struggle to do that. I feel like it's a karmic lesson I'm learning in my life. I can be very isolated, withdrawn, self protective, and I feel like you only need protection when there's a threat out there. And if you feel so threatened all the time, imagine the kind of narratives you're internalizing about the world if you're constantly feeling threatened. And if you're constantly acting from a place of like self protection, that means you're internalizing a narrative or belief system about the world that you need to feel threatened of people and like question the goodness of people. And that can possibly mean you don't empathize with yourself very much, because if you can empathize with yourself, you also have the capacity to empathize with others. I feel like it's a two-way street. I feel like that's been established in the awareness of emotional intelligence, is like people who judge others less also have the capacity to judge oneself less, and people who have the capacity to extend empathy to others more also can extend empathy to themselves more. And I feel like that's a given thing. So I've just been working with that, and I feel like not imposing myself and sticking to a rigid belief system of inherent goodness and badness and morality in terms of perfectionistic healing is like not everybody is born good and bad. These are things we are conditioned to think about ourselves. And yes, it can be true that we made mistakes or the other person made mistakes, but it's also true that we have the capacity to grow and like problem solve out of it and consider, not hold people to the same past version of themselves that they were 5 years ago or 10 months ago or something like that. And if you have the capacity to forgive this person, you can also forgive yourself. So I feel like that's something I've been really internalizing, honing in, channeling, learning to work with, engage with in a meaningful way in my life. That's the concept or the notion that I've been working with most in my healing journey. And I just wish everybody like a good time, man, because I know how hard it is to do, to reap the rewards, to sow the seeds, to manifest your dreams when you have a bunch of layers of trauma and you feel so dysregulated and you're like, how will I ever achieve my wildest dreams when I'm operating out of survival mode? And I'm not thriving in life. All my energy is being used to like survive in the day and get out of bed and brush my teeth and be a fully functional adult. But I cannot thrive in any capacity or bring anything to life or fruition with this layers and layers of festering trauma that comes with age. And you just grow jaded as you grow up, because you see a lot in life. It's like you experience pain, but then that also gives you a chance to experience wisdom. And I feel like everybody should just have a good time on this planet Earth, because I feel like our good times can be cut short. And when you're in it, uh, just savor it, just cherish it, because good times will go away and bad times will also go away. So nothing is really permanent. So just recognize when you're in the good days and kind of protect that, like anything, like everything in the world, like protect that, those times, those good times. Now, I wish you all a happy healing Monday, Tuesday, whenever you're listening to this podcast. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This week is Halloween week. The veil is super thin. It's a great time to release certain old energies. It's a great time to manifest new seeds of inspiration and kind of um, set new intentions for the next year, for the rest of the year. And winter is coming soon. So I hope all of you guys have a great time. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.